friends, welcome back to Food Prep Guide. We are preserving more blueberries today, and this time it is blueberry vanilla jam. This is a ball recipe and it is absolutely amazing. It is honey sweetened instead of sugar, and it has a hint of vanilla and a hint of cinnamon and no pectin. It is so good. Cannot wait. Let's get started.
By the way, if you would like help building your food storage, scroll down to the description box of this video and click this link for our free 1-year food storage plan. We calculated a year's supply of food for one person, then broke that data down into a week-by-week list of items to build your pantry on a budget. We'll send it straight to your inbox. If you're new here, we invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss all of our upcoming food preservation, pantry storage, and gardening tutorials. Now back to the kitchen.
For this recipe, we need 3 quarts of blueberries. So I just have my quart jar here and my bowl of blueberries I'm scooping out of. So 1, 3. Next, we need 1½ cups of honey. Next, we need 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Next is 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Oops. Next is ½ teaspoon of cinnamon. Now we just mix all these ingredients together and bring it to a boil. This is very, very thick, very sticky. You'll notice that the only liquid we put in was lemon juice. And the honey is not exactly liquid, so this is going to be a very thick mixture, and it's going to feel like you did something wrong. But it is right. It's just going to be what is going to keep our jam nice and thick, even though we're not using any pectin. And as it cooks, those blueberries are going to be releasing some juice, so we will get some liquid in there. Okay, bring this up to a boil. We'll be back when it's boiling. Okay, our mixture is at a good hard boil now. So at this point, we're going to turn our heat down to a high simmer. So we still want it to be bubbling at the top, but we don't want it to be like a hard boil either. So we're going to lower it to a high simmer, and we're going to keep it at this stage for about 30 minutes. Now, the recipe says to stir constantly. So I just want to let you know that that's what the recipe says. I don't sit here and literally stir this pot, every few seconds throughout this 30-minute process, but I will walk in here every 2 to 3 minutes and come in here and give it a good stir, because we don't want this mixture to stick and burn on the bottom of our pot. So that's what I'll be doing, stirring every few minutes for the next 30 minutes. And then we will be looking for signs that the jam has set, and I will show you how to check for that. We have about 10 more minutes until our jam is done, so I'm going to go ahead and prepare my canner. I've put it on medium-high heat, and I filled it up halfway with water. Put my canner basket in, and the recipe yields about 6 half-pint jars. I'm going to go ahead and heat up 7 just in case. So this canner water will be coming to temperature, and it will be slowly warming my jars in the process, and they'll be ready to fill in about 10 minutes. Our 30 minutes is up, but that doesn't necessarily mean our jam is ready. So I'm going to do the spoon test and the plate test and explain that. So I'm just going to take a spoon and get a little bit of our jam, and then I'm just going to tilt it off the spoon. See how it runs straight off? That means it's not done. But just to be extra sure, let's try the plate test. And I just put this plate in the fridge for about 10 minutes so it's nice and cold. I'm going to take a spoonful, drop a little bit on my plate, let it sit there for just a second. Now I'm going to run my finger through it. You see how it pushes straight through, no resistance at all, there's no clumping at all? That means it's not done. So we need to cook it for a little bit longer. It's been about 15 minutes and I've just been doing the spoon test every 5 to 7 minutes or so. So let's do the spoon test and the plate test one more time to see what it looks like. I'm going to tilt and see how it's falling off the spoon in clumps. And then let's do a little bit on our cold plate here. Let it sit there for a minute. And remember, this is a pectin-free jam, so it's not going to be as thick as if we had pectin in it, but it still has thickened up quite a bit. I'm going to tilt it, and it's going to very slowly move down, and I can push my finger through it, and I'm getting a little bit more resistance than I did before. At this point, I could let it go for just a few more minutes, and I probably will. I'm going to let it go for about 5 more minutes, and then we'll can it up. Because the spoon test says it's done, the plate test is it could be a little bit more set than that. So I'm going to let it go for about 4 or 5 more minutes and we will can it up. Now that our jam is done, we're just going to ladle it into half-pint jars to a 1/4 inch headspace. Next step is to debubble. Get as much of the air bubbles out as we can. Next step is to wipe our rims. I did have one more jar, but I decided to put that in the fridge so that we could all enjoy it later today or tomorrow, because my daughter especially has been in here as I've been canning and she cannot wait to get into this jelly, this jam. So we will go ahead and enjoy one of those tonight. Okay, next step is to put clean and new lids and rings on, just a fingertip tight. And into the canner they go. I'm going to check to make sure I have at least 1 inch of water above my jars, and I do. So we're good to go. I'm going to put the lid on. We're going to wait until this water comes up to a rolling boil. I'm going to turn my eye up to high heat. And once it comes to a rolling boil, these jars will process for 10 minutes. Our 10 minutes are up. Now it's time to take these out of the canner. I will put these in a place where they cannot be touched, moved, or disturbed in any way for 12 to 24 hours. We have a whole video on what to do post-canning, what to do with your jars, and I will link that above. And that is it, y'all. Some blueberry vanilla jam. Hope y'all enjoy. We'll see you next time. Bye.